Why are you busy all day, working so hard, putting so much work into your business, but still not getting clients? Do you ever feel that way? Do you feel like, oh my God, I'm doing all the things. I get up, I put all my energy into this business, but it's not translating. If this is how you feel right now and you're about to give up, or you're like, oh my God, what to do next? Please stay tuned in this episode because I want to share some tips and some perspectives that will change things for you. Hey, welcome back. How are you? I'm so excited to be here. I haven't recorded for a couple of weeks. I know you'll be getting episodes, weekly, but I tend to record episodes. Maybe I'll do 4 in a week and then drip them throughout the month. But I actually haven't recorded for, I think, 2, 3 weeks. So it feels really nice to be here. I've been really busy welcoming new clients, also launching a new Pilates program, so it's nice to come back and chat with you about all the things. Today, we are talking about making sure the work, the effort we're putting into our business is translating into sales. Because at the end of the day, yes, we want to change people's lives. Yes, we want them to feel better, health wise, or whatever it is that you're doing. I know you're here to help people. I know you're a really good hearted practitioner. And you need to make money. That's the reality of things. We've got to make money, got to pay the bills, got to treat ourselves well, got to find the time also to do the well-being we're teaching, right? So I want to talk about that today. If you're new here, I am Isa-welly. I'm a business mentor for well-being practitioners that are looking to grow their income right here online. They're looking to increase that sales of whatever offer you have, whether it's a one-to-one or a group offer. And prior to that, I spent a decade, 10 years in the well-being industry as a Pilates teacher, a well-being practitioner in general, a registered nutritional therapist, creating dozens of courses, doing so much online. Some of my courses did really well, amazing launches, 5-figure launches, and some were absolute flops, like absolute shit shows. And you know what? I've learned so much from all of them. Everything, all of these things, the mistakes, the wins, all led me to where I am today, where I am here to share with you, to teach you, to guide you, to share my experience, the strategies I've learned along the way, so that you too can build your own version of success. You too can build a business you're proud of, a business that supports you. All right, let's dive into today. So, this is something that came up actually recently. It came up a few times already with some of my clients, but it came back up again on one of my clarity calls. So before I work with anybody on a one-to-one, I always invite them to have a call, have a chat, because we might not feel each other's energy, and we're going to work together for 3 to 6 months. We kind of have to like each other. And you know what? It's completely okay if someone doesn't feel my vibes or vice versa. I'm always honest and say, listen, I don't think this is going to work. I don't think I'm the right coach for you. And sometimes people just say, no, I'm not feeling it. And it's absolutely fine. But those clarity calls are incredible for me because I really get to learn to know who is listening to me, what they need, and what's happening in your life. And this came up. I spoke to a lady and she worked a lot. She worked her ass off. Actually, really reminded me of where I was a few years ago when I was doing all the things. Pilates teaching. I was studying nutrition. I was already coaching. I was working for brands. And I know she's putting a lot of work into it. But the difference between her and I is she's not seeing that income being really translated yet. She's not getting clients. She's doing so much. And, I said to her, what are you doing with your days? What are you doing with your time? And then she got into it and I was like, whoa, okay, I see. And, you know, if you are feeling the same, to be honest with you, like you feel like you have super busy days and perhaps you're still training, perhaps you're still building your skills as a practitioner while you're building a brand new business and not seeing the results. Don't want to say it's normal, but I say it happens more often than you think. And what you need to shift is what I'm going to share with you very soon in this episode. It is easier than you think. so many of us go into busy, 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 busy. I want to be busy. I want to do all the things. I want to tick all the boxes. But the question is, where is that leading me? Where is that leading me closer to my goal? Make a sale, grow the business, grow the community. And again, I think the painful point here for us is when we put so much effort into what we're doing, and then at the end of the month, it doesn't translate into a bank account, and where you might get to the point where you're thinking, is this actually worth it? Am I going to be able to make a living out of this? Is this sustainable? Like, what the hell? How is everybody else doing it? You can do it. I promise you, you can do it. It feels heavy at times, feels hard, but you can do it. You just have to make sure you're focusing on the right thing. So years ago, one of my wake up calls, and if there's one thing I want you to remember from this episode is this: I had a wake up call moment working with a coach myself and realized that 80% of my activities, 80% of the things I was doing throughout the day, and I was so busy. That was before I became a parent even. I was like, what was I doing? I was so busy. But 80% of the things I was doing were not moving me closer to my goal. Those 80% of the things were perhaps bringing me 20% of the results. It really wasn't matching. And that was a big wake up call when I realized, wow, this actually doesn't really matter. Spending hours crafting my Canva post, making sure, I don't know, the copy is perfect. Just thinking, oh, what should I talk about today? And when I look back, it's because I didn't really have a clear strategy. I didn't know who I was speaking to. And when you know all of that, it really shifts things. Really, really does. So first of all, what changes everything when you feel like you're working so hard, but you're not seeing results, you're giving everything, is number one, is to build a strategy. You've got to have a strategy because that's what's going to keep you focused, but that's also what's going to give you space to relax because you know you have a plan. You don't need to worry if one post isn't well written. You know it's part of an ecosystem. You don't need to start stressing out because you have a strategy. You've got to have a strategy. When you don't have strategy, everything you do kind of become a bit of a noise. It becomes, I don't know, a content for the sake of a content, a showing up and doing this for the sake of it. But when it falls into a plan, you know where you're going and it kind of always work. It does work. So get a strategy, get a plan. Now, two things I want you to focus on. Number one is, first of all, before I say those two things, is always know what are the money-making activities in your business. What makes you money? If you haven't figured that out yet, this is time to go and figure that out because that's what you need to be doing more of. What makes people buy from you? Is it you simply showing up online and selling? Because if you never sell, if you spend all your days crafting posts and you're not even selling these posts, right? You're not leveraging your work. This is about leveraging your work, right? We want to work with intention. We want to work intelligently. So really think about it. What are your money making activities? What makes you make money? I know personally for me is showing up online and selling, showing my face, writing emails to my community saying, hey, this is what I have going on, and making sure, right? But not just any email or any show up, making sure when I do these two things, they are strategic, they have a goal. I know exactly what I'm speaking about. I'm speaking to my woman. I know what is she doing. I know she's working a lot. She's not seeing that money in yet. So that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm not just going to give her a random business tip that maybe she actually already know and it's not working, right? Because she hasn't got to a certain point yet. Maybe she hasn't got to the point where she doesn't understand yet that if your messaging is not clear, you can post 10 times a day, you ain't going to make the sale. It's a hard truth, but it's the truth, right? So I'm going to go and speak to her first about the fact that she's doing too much. She's doing a lot. She could do less, but with intention, with strategy. So you need to understand your money making activities and like go for that. And that has to be part of your daily activity. You wake up in the morning, spend the first hour. Okay, what is going to make me, sell my offer today or grow my community? What is my goal at the moment? What is going to bring me 100 new subscribers to my mailing list this month or next month or this year? Whatever your numbers are, whatever you're trying to reach, you got to focus on that. And you got to know what makes that happen. That is like a given. Once you know that, and a lot of the time you'll realize it's about sharing, you need to make sure you're writing content that converts. That's number one thing. Write content that converts. If you are going to spend your day crafting, spending hours on Canva, figuring things out while you're still building your own skills, perhaps you're like training for something like me. I was a Pilates teacher and I was doing my nutritional therapy thing, and I was doing so many things. I was doing my health and well-being coaching. If you're doing all of that, great. But if you also want to build a business and start making money, you've got to work in a way that is intelligent. Like you need to say, listen, I'm going to do just 2 posts this week, but they're going to be so powerful that that's all I need to do, right? And whatever content it needs that you create is got to convert into a sale. That doesn't mean everybody's going to see and be like, oh my God, I want to buy it, but it has to resonate with the person you're talking to. If you right now listening to me, you are this person, you are my ideal client, all of this is going to resonate with you. And if it does, you're very likely to stay and watch more. And if you watch more, you're very likely to come and maybe follow me on Instagram, join my mailing list, inquire about one-to-one. We're already in a selling process here. It's not like, oh, she's going to buy that day straight away, right? But I'm speaking to someone in particular. I know what's happening, what pattern. And if it doesn't resonate with you, you'll be like, no, that's not me. I'm not her client. You might not even think that in your subconscious, but you just scroll by. And that is fine too, because that's what we want. We don't want everybody. I don't want everybody. I don't need a million people following me. I need the women that I know I want to work with and I can help for sure. So what am I going to do? I'm going to speak to them. I know what's happening with them. I'm going to speak to them. So you've got to create content that converts, and knowing that posting every day is not a strategy. Let me repeat this again. Posting every day is not a strategy. By the time this episode is out, I think my challenge would have been done. I've done a 14-day. I am doing, because I'm on day 7 today. So 7 days to go. And I think this will come up in a week. So just about. I'm doing a 14-day challenge. It's free. It's on Instagram. So even if it's finished, it'll be on my highlights. So do come and check it out. To help you sell your offers with more ease, to help you craft your content better, to help you show up. And in day 5 or 6, I'm talking about posting daily. It's not a strategy. It is not a strategy unless you're here to beat the algorithm and figure the algorithm out. Posting every day is not a strategy. Absolutely not. The strategy is posting content that converts. Once you have content that is working really well, right? You have your content that's doing really well. You're like, okay, this is converting. People are seeing this. They're messaging me. They want to know more about my work. Then when you understand what's working well and you have a powerful messaging, then you can go ham, go for it. Then you can go every day, because you know it's going to work. It's going to bring in the people. It's going to resonate with people. But really, truly, you don't need to post every day. People say post every day, post 3 times a day to grow your community. Is that sustainable? Are you trying to have thousands of people following you? Or are you trying to have the people you already have and a few more start buying your offers? And I think as a business, that's what you want, buying your offers, selling them consistently and making the whole process sustainable. So you got to think about, where am I putting my time? What am I doing actually? And I want you to, have a look at one of your working days when you're working on your business. What am I doing? What is taking so much of my time? How long does it take me to create content? How well is that content performing? How many times am I sharing it? Number 2 is you need to know how to repurpose. I teach this with my one-to-one clients all the time. Like, even this morning with one of my clients, Claire, we were talking about this. I was like, please, please, please make this sustainable. You don't have to create 5 pieces of different content in a week. I pick one topic, perhaps it's a topic I'm going to talk about on the episode. Then I'm going to turn it into a reel that may make a little story out of it. I might show up quickly on camera and just talk about it for a couple of minutes. That's it. One topic. We're good, right? Different places, different way. It might resonate with different people. It's more chances for you people to see what you're talking about. We don't have to come up with new things all the time. How is that sustainable? We can talk about that one thing. I can talk about this thing forever, like making sure how you're managing. I can bring it into different angles. How are you managing your time throughout the day? Are you starting your day, tuning in, creating from a place of, how you want to help people with intention and with the goal to move people closer to the sale? Or are we just creating for the sake of it? You open your phone, look at everything, what everybody's doing and doing that. I can go from the angle of, okay, it's not translating in income. So let's see how, like, we can do this in so many different ways, right? It just has to be sustainable for you. It has to be sustainable for you, the way you create. So make sure you're creating content that converts. And obviously that means first and foremost, spending time in understanding who you are serving. And I promise you, that is the best thing you can do with your time. Even if you don't show up for a week and you go and do a messaging training, or you go and research about who exactly is following you, who you want to serve, what are they going through, that is the best way you can spend your time. I promise you. A lot of the time in those first year or 2 years of our business, we need to learn to step back from being front and face and sharing and like all that, and be at the back and be like, okay, how's my business doing? What is missing here? Let me understand who my clients are. Let me train in this. Let me get a coach. Like, this is where the real work is, you guys. The real work. And that will translate when you start showing up, because you know what you're talking about. You know who you're talking to. And then coming back to it again is for you to focus, once you figure out those money making activities, is to focus on them, right? When I start my days or my week will always start on a Monday with what I know will help me sell the most at the moment is writing powerful emails. And that will be my first one, to be honest with you, and creating that's towards the sale, and creating powerful YouTube episodes that speak directly to the woman I want to speak to, the practitioner I want to speak to, right? And those are my 2 main things. So I'm going to do that first. And then I'm going to say, okay, from this, I can create content for, whoever else, like let's say for Instagram. Really quickly, I can do these 2 pieces and that's done. Then my second goal is to grow my community. So at the moment, I'm taking time to train on Facebook ads because I want to dip into Facebook ads. So that is important, even though at first it's not bringing me anything. If anything, is taking money and time. And I'm like, spending a whole day learning about Facebook ads. I know in the long run, I'll be like, yes, I'm grateful I've learned this, right? Invest in yourself, invest your time wisely. My time, it wouldn't be wise for me to spend 2 hours crafting a Instagram carousel that people will see for 3 seconds, and that will be maybe 200 people max. And how is that going to support me or support my business, right? So be strategic, know what you're doing, build with intention, and focus on the money making activities. And for most part, they are not crafting or spending hours creating content, especially if it's not converting. Okay, and that's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed that. I want to recap and say, if you are spending so much time, pouring hours, so much energy and so much effort into your business and not seeing any results, I want you to step back, analyze your day, understand where you're spending your time. What are those activities that you're doing? Are they money-making activities? If they are not, understand what the money-making activities are and do those every day in priority. Content is a money-making activity when you create content that is powerful and content that converts. If you are putting content there all the time and it's not resonating, you're not getting any email back, nobody has read it and thought, oh my God, this is me, then you got to review that. Invest time behind the business in understanding your clients, in getting skills as a business owner, in learning and knowing how to speak to your client, how to write. That is the foundation, I will say. It is very, very important. And of course, if you're listening to this and thinking, God, this is me, I'm working so hard, I'm doing all the things, and I don't even know, please book a clarity call with me. It's no obligation. In 30 minutes, I can diagnose a lot. Just scrolling through your page or looking at your website, seeing your content, I can already tell you what is happening. So book a clarity call. It's half an hour. We chat. We look into your business, we see what's happening. I can diagnose a few things for you. If you then want to, work with me, I'll tell you how that works. If you don't, great. I would have learned from you and hopefully you too. Thank you so much for being here. You know where to find me. All the links are in the show notes. I'm grateful for you and I'll see you in the next episode.